Convoy, armor train, submarine, wrecks, economic system, upgradable furnaces and refineries, ownable quarries and pump jacks. Let's give this server a try. But I need to see what the combat is before I do it. So
story of convicted killer Maze Mob. Maze Mob,
Maze
aka
Mob.
Andre Bonner, was arrested in 2013 for murdering outside of the Zodiac Lounge in Macon, Georgia.
What was that sound? Oh, it was Rust.
The man would be found guilty of felony murder, malice murder, as well as gang charges, and he was sentenced to life in prison without parole plus 20 years. Sometime in September of 2018, it's reported that Andre Bonner received a smuggled cell phone and began posting videos to Facebook under the name Maze Mob. Throughout the year, Andre would treat Facebook like any other ordinary citizen would, randomly posting onto the social media website, just talking about whatever. You know, his frustrations with being a bachelor in prison being one common topic. He says, "I'm sick of this single shit. I'm looking for me a hashtag mob."
What? You're a goddamn you're a jailbird.
Memes. Good morning, he says. Sometimes those who are heartless once cared too much, with the fucking Joker imagery.
Oh
And also
my God.
something interesting that I just want to bring up here. I'm pretty sure that Andre Bonner was in the same prison as infamous murderer, popular with true crime channels here on YouTube, Stephen McDaniel. You know, the killer who was informed that the body of his victim was found while he was being interviewed by the local press shortly after he killed them.
And we just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of. I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you heard? Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's how we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there.
Ah, good. Looks good.
I think I need to sit down.
Frames are good.
I also think he's in a really popular Jim Can't Swim video as well.
Somebody's
In a
chopping
Facebook
all the
status,
trees.
Bonner asked
Like
his
all of
fans
them.
to confirm the identity of an
I better
individual
hit
at
each
his
one
prison,
that I see.
And his commenters promptly confirmed
Fuck
that
was
it
that?
in fact McDaniels.
Fuck was
Y'all
this?
can tell me who this is. I
Hemp
got
fibers.
you a prize. My girl kept telling me this was him. I was like,
This was
fuck
him.
no. Dog small as fuck. I G him every day and didn't know it was people. Hashtag free to go, Bonner said, seemingly in support of the murderer. Most
That
of
was
the videos
sulfur,
that
was
Bonner
it?
would post consisted of the man
Stones.
sharing vignettes from life within a cell. These pieces often showing unexpected luxuries in the context of being locked up, such as the man chowing down on some Zaxby's and him smoking.
Oh my
Good
God.
in the hood today, but that's me. Fuck this shit up. No, for real.
He's just smoking in the jail cell. What? How is that prison? That's what prison's like. I should go rob a bank. Fuck it. If I could just smoke blunts and play video games on a cell phone in prison and shit, play fucking Minecraft or something on, probably old school RuneScape on a tablet in prison or whatever. Why don't I just go rob a bank and get the money to my family? This is the problem. This is the problem. You guys, like, the way you guys run the world is so fucking stupid. This guy's smoking weed in his prison cell. I always suspected it was like this.
I mean, after all,
Yeah, it's a bit of a self snitch. Yeah, I would say so. Are you doing hardware acceleration? Is that what's like doing this stupid thing? Yeah, hardware acceleration. No? Alright.
Good in the hood today, but that's me. Fuck this shit up. No, for real.
I don't want to crack it without the right tool.
now one
Oh,
thing
wow.
Publishing these videos is a bit of a self-snitch.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
After all, he's posting videos that he recorded on
Oh,
contraband that
wow.
he's not supposed to have, showing him engaging in behavior that he's not supposed
Let's go to
engage
Colorado.
in. But then again, does this guy even care? I mean, Mr. Bonner is in prison for life, so what does he really
No,
even
it'll
have
be
to lose other than perhaps
here.
being thrown into the hole or something like that? As he continued to upload to Facebook, Bonner's ridiculous page would catch the media's attention, who would go on to do a full report, reaching out to the Department of Corrections Public Affairs Office, and the department would be made aware of Bonner's antics. In response, they launched their own investigation into the page and Bonner's activities. I mean, after all, there was a lot to look into. This guy got pretty busy with his video content on there.
This fucking idiot. I want to see him, like, do this stuff more. I want to see. Like, him smoking weed in prison was a trip for me.
Expected luxuries in the context of being locked up, such as the man chowing down on some Zaxby's and him smoking.
What the fuck is a Zaxby's? Oh, it's chicken. It's fried chicken?
No, for real.
How are you smoking weed in your fucking cell? Doesn't that fucking stink? How did they not fucking come bust you right away? I couldn't smoke weed in my mom's house. How the fuck are you doing it in prison? How is that? How is a pig not up there, like fucking, like, up in your fucking business and stuff? It's because they have all these tricks that they know. They're like plugging the door so it's like a completely sealed chamber, and they smoke out for like 10 minutes, and then they use some tool or something to get the smoke smell out. Not probably Febreze and shit like this, just like we used to do when we were smoking in our mom's house. You know, what the fuck? How is that guy doing that? Hurry up, you! Oh, I gotta break that other stone node. I like this server. I hope I can stay here. We'll see. Nice. I've reached level 2. Cool. Okay.
You might think that publishing these videos is a bit of a self-snitch. I mean, after all, he's posting videos that he recorded off contraband that he's not supposed to have, showing him engaging in behavior that he's not supposed to engage in. But then again, does this guy even care? I mean, Mr. Bonner is in prison for life, so what does he really even have to lose other than perhaps being thrown into the hole or something like that? As he continued to upload to Facebook, Bonner's ridiculous page would catch the media's attention, who would go on to do a full report, reaching out to the Department of Corrections Public Affairs Office, and the department would be made aware of Bonner's antics. In response, they launched their own investigation into the page and Bonner's activities. I mean, after all, there was a lot to look into. This guy got pretty busy with his video content on there.
This fucking music is DMCA. How are you listening to this? Ugh.
Bonner's last Facebook status was posted on March 26th of 2019, the same day that the media coverage about his exploits on Facebook began. It's unknown what Andre Bonner, aka Maze Mob, is up to these days. Well, outside of serving time. But there hasn't been any new Facebook accounts claiming to be him. Whatever the case, when a prisoner operates a boomer tier Facebook account, that was the Andre story.
I'm in South America. There's cargo.
Typically speaking, when guys get cell phones in jail or prison, they're using it to go onto Facebook, post statuses, or maybe even contact people from the outside. Well, our next group of individuals that got a smuggled cell phone, or cell phones I should say, they took things to the next level, going out of their way to record an entirely produced music video and somehow getting it onto YouTube. On the Wave House YouTube channel, there's a music video that was uploaded on November 3rd of 2022 called In This Cell. The lead artist on the song is credited as 24 Super Bad 37, and it features an artist known as 82 Treasy Banger. The video consists of grainy cell phone footage, showcasing multiple rappers that appear to be behind bars. In the music video, you can even see footage of correctional officers restraining someone. There's also points in the video where it appears that their prison cell is being flooded with water, and footage of prisoners arguing with each other is spliced in throughout. During the video, the rappers appear to be somewhat uncomfortable and on the lookout while performing on camera.
God damn it, why are you playing so much crappy music on this video? Like, yeah, we get it. He's listening to his cell phone in his prison cell. We get it. This sucks.
The whole thing feels a bit awkward while they mouth the lyrics to the song. You definitely get the feeling that they're doing this without permission and there's some sort of, you know, looming presence outside of their cell that they're trying to avoid being noticed by. Basically, they're secretly recording this video and don't want to get caught. One good thing that you can say about this video is that it is incredibly authentic. This is about as real as it gets, and many people who saw this were surprised it was made while the rappers were locked up. In This Cell was recorded in September of 2022 and was published to the internet in November. At the time of me making this video, it has about 120,000 views. When the video first started making waves online, it grabbed the media's attention. An investigation on their part would confirm that it was in fact filmed in prison, more specifically the Macomb Correctional Facility in Macomb County, Michigan. It was filmed by two prisoners who had smuggled in cell phones. Later it would be revealed that the two men who recorded the footage and rapped the lyrics were in prison for some pretty serious crimes.
Of course.
One was in for second-degree murder, and the other was charged with armed robbery. The one charged with armed robbery had also gotten 2 additional charges while in prison, both due to possessing contraband, unsurprisingly. Although media attention gave the music video a bigger spotlight, the way the correctional facility guards actually found out about it is interesting in and of itself. Now here's how this video was linked back to these guys. Apparently while searching one of the prison cells, the guards found a piece of paper that had the URL to the YouTube music video written on it. A quote from authorities says, "They looked at it, pulled it up online, and then found it was a video that had clearly been shot inside that prison." Now, as the music video was going viral, there were employees at the correctional facilities that spotted 2 separate cell phones in the video, and they deduced that one of them was filming the video and the other was just used as a prop. When the prisoners responsible for the video were discovered, they were separated and put in segregation while they awaited additional charges, which would lead to more time for both of these guys. Unfortunately, for the sake of this story, both prisoners have gone unnamed by the press, so I don't know who these individuals are and what the details of the particular charges were. The YouTube video still continues to be successful and has accumulated almost 1,000 comments, most of which seem to be supportive. This song is so dope. Keep your head up, homie. There's always better days ahead. I did 7 years, been home since 2014.
7
I
years.
never imagined life being so beautiful. Stay strong, King. One
Stay strong,
commenter
King.
Says, "How does video get out before y'all? SMH."
Baby mama's tripping, but she watching though, and she loving me though. She can talk all that she want.
State leaders who saw the clip say it's dangerous and threatens security.
In what has become a classic case of a prisoner breaching cyberspace from behind bars, we have the story of Jose Rivera, a violent offender who used a cell phone from within prison not only to operate a Facebook page, but to issue violent threats to folks on the outside while brandishing contraband weapons in this content. Let's begin. 31-year-old Jose Ariel Rivera was a career criminal serving a 10-year sentence in the Evans Correctional Facility in Bennettsville, South Carolina. Jose had been arrested and convicted of a burglary charge in 2014 in Newberry County. And while in prison, he was charged with 2 counts of destroying jail property in Lawrence County. Jose had a reputation of being quite difficult. While in prison, the convict would have many run-ins with correctional officers, and a lot of it had to do with him somehow being able to access social media. In March of 2017, Jose would be reprimanded for a social network violation, where he ended up losing access to quite a few privileges, those including telephone, visitation, and canteen privileges for 6 months. Meaning that he can't go to the shop and get little snacks and shit like that. 1 month later, in April of 2017, Jose was reprimanded again due to being in possession of a cell phone. As a result of this, he lost his television privileges for a year, and his canteen, telephone, and visitation privileges were taken away altogether for another 6 months, stacked on top of the earlier punishment he was given. Now you'd think that these actions would possibly prompt this guy to pump the brakes a little bit, hang back and keep a low profile, but no. It seemed Jose Rivera wanted to completely top his previous antics, and the correctional officers at this place didn't seem to have any motivation to stop him. These guys were just really, you know, clocking in and chilling. On August 4th, 2017, Jose would appear on Facebook Live with a fellow inmate. It seemed the previous restrictions against him were not being dutifully observed, as somehow Jose had gotten access to another phone, and he was literally using it to go live while interacting with his friends that were in the chat. But as he cheeses for the camera with his confidant, something oddly alerting can be seen in this video content.
And inmates living it up on social media.
As you can see, both convicts are in possession of what looks to be actual knives.
Big knives and all.
Now, naturally,
What?
this makes for a concerning visual.
How did you get that
But
in?
given the fact that these two are in prison, you know, not supposed to have access to these weapons, and they do have violent pasts. In the video, Jose gives his Facebook friends a
Fucking
tour of the
dummies.
facility, walking them through what appears to be the commons area outside of his cell.
You see this? Big boss. Yeah. You see the main man's right there.
Later in the live, Jose addresses his baby mama.
Baby mama's tripping. But she watching though. And she loving me though. She can talk all that she want. But this real in here, you hear me? They love me.
Oh my god.
Big knives and all.
Big knives and all.
Baby mama, you know you love me. Talking that crazy talk. You hear me? I'm coming home soon, girl.
And at another point, he seems to hold something up to the camera, but it is censored. It's hard to see, but I believe it's some sort of gang sign. This wouldn't be a one-time deal, however, as in another video, Jose can be seen sitting at his bed while berating someone who had apparently been a part of some sort of drama with him and his baby mama.
Bro, you know who you playing with? Bro, if you ever disrespect my baby mama, bro, I was
My baby mama.
I'm not talking. I don't do no talking. This is your only warning.
Near the end of the stream, he pulls out his knife and says that he will stab his ass any day of the week, referring to whoever was causing him drama that was in the free world.
I see any day of the week.
This incident and live stream would cause concern for folks on the outside that stumbled across it. They thought, how is this convict able to stream with a knife in his hand in the middle of prison? Where are the guards at? There seemed to be not one correctional officer.
I don't know, the
anywhere
frames
near
on
the
this
vicinity
server.
in these videos. Nor did
What
the
was
prisoner
that?
seem
Oh,
to be
God.
concerned about concealing their contraband in the first place. It looked like anything goes at this place. After the streams were discovered by the press, the media would put the correctional facility on the hot seat. In response, a prison spokesperson released a statement regarding the incident. We've been very vocal about cell phone contraband, not only in our prisons, but in corrections departments across the country. This video is another example of the unfettered access to the outside world that cell phones give inmates, which is why the FCC should allow prisons to block cell phones. Now, at the time, South Carolina State Senator Brad Hutto did some posturing, making
I don't think I like
statements
this
saying that
server.
this whole situation was extremely concerning and that officials in the government need to have more
The frames are
control over
horrible.
what's being done in the correctional facilities.
Most of these folks have victims that are associated with their crimes, and the victims should not be subjected to seeing any more of the shenanigans that's going on with these Facebook posts.
Now, I'm not really all too sure if anything came out of this situation other than a bit of public scrutiny, but regardless, Jose would continue on with his antics. On July 9th of 2018, he was reprimanded again for operating a social network, and he lost multiple privileges because of this. You can see that he was hit with disciplinary action for operating a social network account in July of 2018. It says he was hit with loss of canteen privileges for 210 days, detention for 60 days, loss of telephone privileges for 210 days, loss of television privileges for 360 days, and loss of visitation privileges for 210 days. The man was hit with disciplinary action again for social networking antics in May of 2021. You can see that he lost canteen, television privileges, visitation, etc. And in March of 2019, Ariel would receive another 10 years stacked on top of the sentence he was already serving due to pleading guilty to a burglary in the second-degree charge. Needless to say, this man is still behind bars. He hasn't gone live in a while, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see this dude gallivanting around prison on Facebook Live in the future.
I shot and killed a man. Yeah, I'm ashamed to say I killed a man.
YouTube has quite a few channels that consist of former prisoners talking about their lives when they were locked up, their experience, prison stories, and other kinds of things. But what about a YouTube prison channel run by someone who is still actually in prison? Well, that brings us to Bad Bob, a self-described incarcerated content creator who in many ways has become an enigma. This story begins all the way back on August 17th of 2020 on the After Prison Show YouTube channel. For those unfamiliar, After Prison Show is hosted by a man named Joe Guerrero, who had spent 7 years in prison.
I'm just gonna sit with you guys
about his experiences while
for a minute.
up. After Prison Show Joe would be the first to bring up an individual known as Bad Bob. It all starts in a video where Joe claims that an individual from inside
I'm only
prison
26
known as
km
Bob
away.
had reached out to him. This individual was completely anonymous and wanted to share how horrible the food was while being locked up. This Bob individual would become known as Bad Bob.
This guy is legitimately like undercover in prison, and that sounds horrible. So possibly a better way to word it would be like an inside source in prison, who is going to be sharing with us what exactly prisoners are really eating.
In this video, Joe states that he was not able to 100% confirm that this guy actually was in prison, but Joe was told one of the guy's aliases that apparently another person that had appeared on his channel prior was familiar with. So he was somewhat able to confirm that this guy was actually behind bars. It wasn't concrete, just enough confirmation for him to go through with making a video, I guess.
8-ounce cup filled almost to the rim. So there you have it. Once again, 2/3 this time of what they are supposed to feed us. 8 ounces instead of 12. And let's not forget the heel of the bread. Yum yum.
This would be the first time Bob would appear on a public channel, where he would showcase the horrible meals that prisoners were given while behind bars. He would continue to supply
looks good to me.
For Joe's After Prison
I mean, it doesn't look good to me. It looks like it's free meals. Looks good to me.
Giving dinner in one of them. His last video on After Prison Show,
not prison, just the idea of free meals. You should shut the fuck up, but I mean, that's your tax money.
Would be published January 10th of 2021, in which Joe would advertise Bob's own channel that was recently created. It seemed like after this, Bob decided to make a channel of his own, as the channel Bad Bob's Prison Life was created on September 2nd of 2020. In the channel description, Bob would write, "I am Bob. I was tried as an adult at the age of 14 for possessing a gun and committing a robbery. Being in an adult penitentiary at such a young age, I was forced to fight for my life and adapt to the prison lifestyle. As such, I ran the time up repeatedly, escaped 7 times, and have now been in prison for 46 years and live to tell about it. This channel is dedicated to showing young people
46 years.
the type of things they will be
Maybe he should be doing that at 46 years.
Come to prison if you continue
46
on a life of
years.
crime and drugs. I would encourage everyone to obey the law and do the right thing and stay away from drugs and crime." Bob's story that he would later tell in the video is that he was adopted as a baby and stayed with a woman who was physically and mentally abusive, and this would lead to him running away at 12 years old, where he would spend 2 years living on the streets of a major city.
I was adopted at birth, so I never knew my birth parents. I went to an adopted family who divorced when I was 4 or 5, and I went with the mother during the divorce. She was very abusive, emotionally, mentally, verbally, physically, I mean the whole 9.
When he was 14 years old, Bob claims he ended up robbing a convenience store and getting snitched out by one of his friends and was arrested. The masked man says that when he was arrested, the authorities and prosecution made the decision to make an example out of him and tried him as an adult. According to Bob, he was facing life in prison and took a plea bargain for a lesser sentence. They then shipped him off to the state penitentiary at the age of 14, where he was surrounded by rapists and murderers. During his early life in prison, Bob claims that he actually escaped 7 times. And
The guy
during
was
one
shooting
of the
at
times
me?
that he had apparently escaped, he had
He
shot
bolted
and
me.
killed a man while on the outside. And this would lead to him spending the rest of his life in prison. Anyways, while his story is interesting, the man is most known for his prison food videos. On December 26, 2020, Bob uploaded his first video titled My 46th Christmas Dinner in Prison. In this
My
video,
46th
the apparently
Christmas
imprisoned
dinner in
man
prison.
calls himself Bob and claims to be residing in a maximum security penitentiary somewhere in the United States, being unspecific to preserve his anonymity. He states that this is his 46th year in prison. He then shows off the Christmas dinner provided by the correctional facility, and it looks grotesque. The turkey looks like boiled spam or some shit. The sweet potatoes look cold, and he's really only given a small smidge of cranberry sauce. Not much of a meal for Christmas. If you
Gross.
ask me, even for a prisoner.
Yep. Even for a prisoner. But I mean, that's the modern America. That's what you guys build. That's what you guys do. I don't like humanity because of people like you, because that's what you wanted it to be. That's what you want it to be.
Definitely more than usual.
That's the way you treat people.
They said we were having turkey, and it looks like they didn't.
I don't treat people like that, but you do.
While showcasing the dinner, Bob states that back in the day, during the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, they were given a more high-quality holiday meal. But over the last few decades, apparently the standards had dropped significantly. The video ends with a warning for viewers that if they found themselves in prison, that this could be the best meal that they get. And that's not much.
So, everybody, enjoy your holidays and stay out of trouble. And remember, if you're going to commit a crime, this is what you're going to be faced with. This will be the best meal you'll see all year long.
The majority of Bob's channel was centered around warning viewers what it could be like if they were sent to prison. It's also to note that a lot of his videos were published during the COVID-19 pandemic, so viewers got to see a first-hand, account of what the guys behind bars were eating during these tough times. He certainly made prison seem like a place you never wanted to go to. In regard to COVID, Bob even says at one point that the prisoners around him were dropping like flies due to the sickness that was spreading, painting quite the dire picture. Surprisingly, Bob would upload quite frequently to this channel with prison food reviews and Q&A videos, as well as captivating prison stories like how Bob claims that he witnessed a rapist get maimed and how Bob was beaten up by a prison gang. Now this whole time, Bob remained completely anonymous. He didn't say what prison he was in, what city he was in, what state he was in, nor did he mention a name or anything else that could narrow down who he actually was. So for the most part, he was able to get away with uploading to his own YouTube channel without anyone finding out who he was to cross-reference him or to get him in trouble if he really was in prison. Now, what was curious about Bob's channel, given the fact that he was locked up, or apparently was locked up, is that it had its own graphics. You might be thinking, how could somebody do this from behind bars? But it's just equally as likely that Bob had someone helping him with the channel on the back end. Like somebody on the outside that is uploading these videos for him. You've had prisoners with cell phones before uploading to the web, but normally these guys are just showing themselves in front of the camera and nothing else. Bob had actual production. He was literally running a prison vlog YouTube channel while in prison, with a voice changer and, other visual stuff. Pretty impressive to do from behind bars, if real. Bob also had a PayPal donation link set up on his channel and multiple email addresses for fans to get in contact with him. Which the PayPal part of that, I'm almost certain you would have to have somebody else to do because they have to be able to open a bank account, I'm pretty sure. On April 18th of 2021, it's reported that Bob hit a snag with his production due to one of his cell phones completely dying out on him. According to updates, he was forced to use a backup phone that wasn't as advanced as his previous tool. However, this didn't stop him from publishing. The last upload on the Bad Bob's Prison Life channel would be on April 17th of 2022, and then the channel would go completely dark. However, there would be a replacement second channel created that featured brand new Bad Bob uploads. That channel being called Life in Prison with Bad Bob. The last video uploaded on that channel featuring Bob was on April 13th of 2022. And then there's seemingly no update from the guy. But on April 18th of 2023, an individual would upload an update about Bob to this page. This person was masked and anonymous, and claimed that Bob just didn't have access to a phone and that they were trying to sort it out so he could record new videos.
Hey guys, so I'm a friend of Bad Bob's here. I'm here to give you an update on what's going on. He doesn't have access to a phone, but we're getting that sorted out as soon as possible. We appreciate the good comments and all the support. You know, Bob especially does.
After that, it seems everything has gone dark. There were many in the comment section of his videos around this time that wanted to hear updates and wondered how Bob was doing. However, there were also quite a few people that believed these channels were total bullshit and were faked for attention. There's much debate about this in the comment section of Bob's content. While we're on this topic, if you go to the After Prison Show subreddit, there's quite a bit of debate about Bad Bob on this page, with some claiming that the entire Bad Bob persona is a scam and that it would be impossible to pull something like this off, while others, giving justifiable explanations for how Bad Bob could be real. One commenter says this: "Look, I love calling out Joe and his low-level minion frauds for the BS they like to pull on the audience, especially that murdering scum Banky, but when it comes to Bob, I see a lot of people saying he's not an inmate, etc. I know one thing for sure, and that is prison food he is showing us. That cabbage is prison specific as well when it comes to prison food. It would take a bunch of time and trouble to go through all of that to fake prison food. Now, the thing maybe is that he's not an inmate but a guard who has some compassion, because that is why he is speaking out on the horrible diet prisoners receive. I also think he speaks very well for someone who has been incarcerated for 40 years. He does not sound like a junior high dropout like most prisoners, but that doesn't really prove anything. My 2 cents. TLDR, I don't think he's a complete fraud, at worst a guard who is pretending to be an inmate." There were also YouTube channels speculating that this whole Bad Bob ordeal was a complete scam. For the most part, Bob's channels have gone dark, though there have been small updates in the last year, but not in the form of a video. It's community posts published to the Life in Prison with Bad Bob channel. From 8 months ago, a poster says, "Just wanted to let everyone know that Bob is doing okay, and I apologize for the silence. Thank you for all the positive comments. I'm going to try to respond to your questions on behalf of Bad Bob. We appreciate
Damn it, Bad Bob.
With us." From 3 months ago. "Hey everyone, I just wanted to reach out and talk to you guys. I apologize for the lack of videos and update videos. Bob had to
Damn it, Bad Bob. We need you more. We need more Bad Bob.
Extremely difficult.
We really need more Bad Bob.
Limited to just a few minutes every couple of months or so. Obviously, Bob isn't made up or this channel is fake. Because if it was me, I would be pumping out videos and making profit, but I'm not.
Damn it, Bad Bob.
For Bob. As always,
shut up, Bob.
World living in paradise. And the most recent being from 3 weeks ago at the time of me recording this video on, July the 17th. Hello everyone, I have great news regarding Bob and the channel.
Damn it, Bob.
Communication has picked back up and more videos will be uploaded. We appreciate everyone who stuck around and supported the channel. Bob can all see your comments, so keep it up. As Bob would say, enjoy life out there in paradise. Stay safe."
Damn it, Bob.
At the end of the woods, I'm shooting at these.
Going live while in prison is stupid, but people do it nonetheless. Well, what about when a prisoner goes live and admits to a crime that they had never been formally charged with, getting themselves in trouble in a way you might not even expect? This is the story of Joe Fletcher. Joe Fletcher is from Akron, Ohio, but was serving time in the Atlanta federal prison for a probation violation. The 30-year-old was a career criminal that had been convicted of drug trafficking, as well as illegally possessing a firearm. In Ohio, Joe had been described as one of Akron's most dangerous individuals. He arrived at Atlanta's federal prison due to a probation violation on January 5th of 2018. And on January 27th of 2018, he would use a contraband cell phone to go live and speak to his friends and family while using Facebook Live. This video stream was publicly broadcasted onto his Facebook and was approximately 49 minutes long. While on Facebook Live with his friends, Fletcher begins to talk about a 19-year-old murder victim named LaDante Smith, who was shot in the head in North Akron back in 2010. It turned out someone else pleaded guilty to the murder in 2011. But on Facebook Live, Joe Fletcher literally just admits to the slaying, saying that he was the one responsible.
Everybody know I did it. Did it, yeah. Free my champ.
The media would get a hold of this footage and actually interviewed the victim's mother, who claimed that she was emailed the clip after it had gone viral.
I wanted to know where the hell was the guards the whole 49 minutes that he was doing all of this? Crying, rewinding, thinking of things that I could do to him.
The mother would reveal to the press that her son and Fletcher were pretty good friends, but always believed there was something more to the case. The day after posting this Facebook video, his cell phones were found in his cell, and he was charged with illegally possessing a communication device inside a federal prison. And the matter of him admitting to this, alleged murder was being investigated by the FBI. Interestingly enough, however, nothing about the murder of LaDante Smith ever came to fruition, and Fletcher was given parole in 2019 and made his way back to Akron, Ohio. The same year of his release, the man would be rearrested for beating his girlfriend, and a judge even ordered him to leave Ohio. However, Fletcher never truly stayed gone. In January of 2020, he released a music video apparently mocking the story of him admitting to LaDante's murder, showcasing news footage within his music video regarding it.
And Smith's mom tells me she knew Fletcher long before he was behind bars here in Atlanta and long before there was ever a Facebook Live. In fact, Fletcher and her son were pretty good friends, but she always believed there was more to the case.
It's always the ones closest to you.
Or had you found peace in Anthony Smart's plea?
No, because I still was hearing that he was not the one that actually pulled the trigger.
In June of 2020, Joe ended up leading Ohio State police troopers on a high-speed chase, where he documented everything using Facebook Live.
I'm shooting at the end of the woods, I'm shooting at you.
Fletcher would be arrested and jailed without bond, but in August of 2021, Joe's daughter passed away, and the convict was allowed to leave the penitentiary to attend his daughter's funeral. Prosecutors requested that Fletcher be escorted by U.S. Marshals as they believed him to be a flight risk. However, for whatever reason, Fletcher was able to just leave with his mother, unguarded and no GPS tracking. This, of course, would result in Fletcher not returning and going on the run, basically escaping prison under the guise of going to this funeral. He was eventually caught 2 days later, after being found in the basement of an Akron home. Later, Fletcher eventually went to trial 3 times in 2023, where he would admit to convincing his teenage son to bribe a witness in one of the cases he was involved in. It's noted that he got quite aggressive with his lawyer during this case, at one point threatening to have U.S. Marshals shoot him. In February of 2024, Fletcher would be sentenced to serve 14 years in prison.
That guy, he was just trying to scare me. He was full of loot, I think.
County jail escape convicted today on felony charges. Hossein Nieri was found guilty of escaping custody and car theft.
So, unless you couldn't tell by now at this point in the video, it's become pretty commonplace for prisoners to smuggle in cell phones. And of course, use these cell phones to record themselves doing various activities. However, what if a prisoner not only documented his experience behind bars, but documented his escape as well? This is the twisted story of Hossein Nieri, a man who recorded his escape from incarceration. Hossein was born in 1978 in Iran and would migrate to the U.S. with his family when he was in middle school. After becoming somewhat popular in high school, where he was a skilled amateur wrestler, he would then join the Marine Corps after graduating in 1997. However, not long after, he would go AWOL and was arrested, subsequently discharged. After this, he began a criminal lifestyle, with Nieri frequently getting in trouble with the law. The former U.S. Marine has been described as manipulative, sadistic, egotistical, narcissistic, and very smart. And he's been compared to other manipulative, killers and criminals, even from fantasy. I think there's some, CO or psychologist that compared him to Hannibal Lecter. As far as I know, Hossein does not eat flesh, but you get the idea. I just look now, and it was a prosecutor that made that comparison. Needless to say, this guy has gotten quite a bit of notoriety over the years. The man's rap sheet is quite thick. At one point, he had been arrested on vehicular manslaughter charges in Fresno, California, after driving drunk and totaling his car, killing his best friend in the process. He had been on probation due to this crime during the time he had committed his other crimes. Hossein's ex-wife claimed that the man had beaten her over 60 times. This dude was basically a total piece of shit. Later, the 38-year-old Hossein Naeri was arrested on torturing and kidnapping charges after abducting a marijuana dispensary owner named Michael in October of 2012 from his Newport Beach home. You see, Mr. Naeri had been casing Michael out for quite a while after he got the idea that this dispensary owner was filthy rich and had a hidden treasure trove of unregistered cash, you know, and had been stowing it in some hiding spot. And Hossein wanted this money. A little bit more context about Michael and this marijuana business. Apparently this Michael guy operated this, business back in 2012, this marijuana dispensary, but operated mostly, or I think entirely, in cash, because this was back when not a lot of states sold legal weed and credit card companies would not, authorize or do business with you if you owned a dispensary. It wasn't chill like that yet. So that's just to explain why this Michael guy was dealing with money, allegedly. Naeri began to create an in-depth plan and even made his wife, who was in law school, run a background check on Michael. So back to Mr. Naeri. Hossein had
Shit, who's he shooting at? No, run.
Unmarked cash at his parents' home, but felt a stealthy break-in to get this money was infeasible due to a vigilant dog that Michael kept on the premises for security purposes. So in an effort to undermine this dog, Hossein allegedly tried to poison it, feeding it tainted meat, and apparently this didn't work, thankfully, for the sake of the dog. The crook was persistent, though. Naeri then began following Michael and leaving GPS trackers on his vehicle. After tracking Michael for months with GPS, Naeri noticed that Michael's vehicle was at one point parked in the Mojave Desert for an extended period of time, and he believed that the man was storing or stashing money somewhere out in the desert. He then hatched a plan to get his hands on this desert plunder. In a savage heist that could be straight out of Breaking Bad, Hossein equipped himself with multiple firearms, a stun gun, a torch, and brought with him some high school buddies to serve as goons. Hossein would then kidnap Michael, taking him out of town and driving the man to the Mojave Desert. In the middle of the desert, Michael was then tortured by Hossein, who reportedly shocked the man with a stun gun and burnt him with a blowtorch. All of this was done to try to get Michael to reveal where his money was hidden. But it turned out that they had been mistaken, and there was actually no hidden piles of cash anywhere within the vicinity. But Mr. Naeri wasn't done there. When he realized that he wasn't going to get his money, he, along with his henchmen, decided to cut off Michael's penis. Yes, this is how sick and depraved this guy is. In fact, he didn't just sever it off and throw it away. He actually took it with him. You're going to hell for that one. The group then poured bleach over Michael in the hopes of removing their DNA and left the scene. He remained a free man for some time after this despicable deed, but eventually the walls would close in on Hossein when one of the culprits that aided him was arrested. In light of this, Hossein Naeri fled the United States to hide out in Iran, where he
already had a TC, son of a bitch.
He was captured in an airport in Prague, Czech Republic, and extradited back to Orange County, California in September of 2014 to face charges. This isn't the end of the tale, as while he was jailed for the moment, Hossein would see the free world again despite the immense charges levied against him. 2 years later, Hossein Naeri, along with two other accomplices, one Jonathan Tu and one Bak Duong, made a brazen yet successful escape at Orange County Central Men's Jail in Santa Ana, California, executing this escape on January 21st of 2016. They did this by removing a portion of a metal grate in their cell and crawling through it, pulling themselves up onto the roof. They then used what has been described as high-grade industrial ropes to rappel down the side of the building. After escaping the roof, they would meet up with an associate of Mr. Duong who served as their getaway driver. and using this exit, they dipped out of the prison premises successfully, escaping Orange County Prison with no one knowing.
What happened to my other arrows? I don't know. Gotta pop this door and I'm terrified too. That's alright. Okay, here we go. Ready? Somebody was building right next to me and I heard it. I heard somebody building right next to me. Who was it?
No, we're not doing the crazy things they're saying. They're thirsty to catch us. We know that. And Friday night.
So now I need trees. Gotta just take the risk.
Their absence wouldn't be discovered until a roll call that was done 15 hours later. Some context on his henchmen involved in this plot. Jonathan Tew and Bac Duong
Gonna go lay a bag over here.
Part of a Vietnamese-American street gang. Jonathan Tew was arrested
I need to be
for
like
murder
this
and
direction.
attempted murder during a gang-related shooting in 2011, while Duong was arrested for attempted murder and assault with a firearm. It's also to note that Hossan Naeri was able to obtain a Google Maps printout of the prison due to allegedly seducing a female ESL teacher within the penitentiary. When the getaway driver dropped them off, the escaped fugitives would call a cab driver, 71-year-old Long Ma, who for $100 agreed to drive them around the city for the night. This ride would sadly turn into a kidnapping, when the group put Long Ma into the back seat of his own cab at gunpoint. They would then use this man's driver's license to cash checks and sign motel registries. Later in a hotel room, it was revealed that Naeri would force Duong to burn the poor cab driver's arm with a cigarette to show loyalty. Naeri would film the whole ordeal on his cell phone, the sick bastard. Later, as cops were closing in on their trail, Naeri would allegedly attempt to murder Long Ma, who did not speak English and really didn't understand the extremity of the situation. Thankfully, it's said that one of the co-escapees, Mr. Duong, would take a liking to the old cab driver and refuse to allow Naeri hurt the man any further. Enraged by this sentiment, Naeri then began beating Duong, strangling him. Later, Duong would escape and ended up driving back to Orange County to turn himself in. Bruises were found all over him when he had returned. The remaining fugitives, Naeri and Tew, made their way to San Francisco, where they were spotted by a homeless man, the individual apparently aware of the escaped convict situation. This Good Samaritan reported their presence in the area to the police, and 8 days after breaking out of confinement, the group would be re-apprehended by authorities, where they would await to be arraigned for their charges of escaping prison. Now, while this whole debacle is quite bizarre, what makes it truly remarkable is the fact that Naeri had been recording the entire process of his escape and the events thereafter on a cell phone. And in late July of 2017, the media would be given access to the actual footage of the escape by Naeri's lawyer. This footage showcased
I got it, it's hilarious.
Prison, as it was all recorded by Hossan Naeri's smuggled in cell phone. In the video, Hossan...
Please close the door, please close the door, please close the door. Jesus Christ, you suck so much.
Hey, Alldayerrydaybaby. And yes, we are not killing anyone.
Now, the video in general seems incredibly manipulative by Naeri, and it's certainly an attempt to embarrass authorities, and he tries to sway public opinion, tries to get folks to feel sympathetic for him. And like, if you watch this documentary that he recorded and made, you might actually feel somewhat bad for him, but that's only if you don't know any of the shit that he participated, not only before the escape, but during it and after. You know, we're talking about basically torturing that poor cab driver. This guy is a scumbag, but he did make a pretty fucking bizarre documentary.
You know, we were so grateful he decided to help us. This man is truly a hero. I wonder if people will ever realize what I'm talking about. He's just a really compassionate person. He wanted no harm to anyone, to others, to us. When things fall apart, you just never know. You never know what a really intense situation can do to a man.
This is our casa right now for the moment. This is our crib. Water. You know, all the basics. So, we don't have crack. We don't have crystal meth. We're smoking weed and eating bananas. And Friday night.
Drive active.
In San Francisco. Special Friday night in San Francisco.
Although the video he made is indeed fascinating, it would not change the narrative due to the graphic details about Nayeri and his attack on Michael from 2012, as well as the collection of people he had exploited to get what he wanted. In August of 2019, Hossein Nayeri was convicted of 2 counts of kidnapping and torture and received 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Now, hilariously enough, in 2022, despite Nayeri completely documenting his escape, he pled not guilty to the charges stemming from the escape plot. Unsurprisingly, he was found guilty in 2023 and received an additional 2 years and 8 months on his already hefty sentencing from the prior crime. And well, you've made it to the end. Those were the influencers from inside prison. Let me know what you guys thought about the video down below in the comment section, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Thank you. Excellent content from my stream. I've linked up to your channel. He also did one about Omegle. Let's do his one about Omegle.
Omegle, the
Thank you for the excellent content from my stream. I've linked up to your channel.
Style video chat site was shut down by its owner, Leaf K. Brooks, ending its nearly 14-year run under somewhat troubling circumstances. So, what happened? Well, if you're like me, you grew up with Omegle as a teenager and probably ran into your fair share of grown men exposing themselves on the platform. This sort of activity has plagued Omegle since its inception, with many sick adult users intentionally broadcasting illegal material to the unsuspecting underage users of the site. The prevalence of this dangerous material on Omegle is what eventually would lead to the platform's demise, with the owner becoming so disillusioned by the chat site that he created that he killed it, feeling as though he had created a monster. And he was getting hit with a bunch of lawsuits. Today I'll be going through each of Omegle's major criminal controversies in chronological order, telling the story of the sick freaks that got this website taken down. This is the disgusting fall of Omegle. Today's video is sponsored by Cook Unity. Cook Unity offers weekly batches of gourmet meals prepared by our country's best restaurants and chefs and ships them right to your front door. Each Cook Unity meal is prepared in a regional micro kitchen and is shipped at the peak of freshness. They arrive fresh, never frozen, and are fully cooked and ready to eat. All you gotta do is heat them up, which is perfect for anybody with a busy schedule like yours truly. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at what's on the Cook Unity menu tonight. First off, we've got this adobo flank steak with potato and broccoli. The steak is super tender, and the little sauce.
I'm 4 jumps from Cheetah.
Slapping, dude. Next,
I'm gonna repair and then I'll just go there.
With Parmigiano. And guys, this one just hits. I get cravings for pasta all the time, and like bolognese is just my go-to. I gotta stop eating this because I have another meal to try. Shit, I can't. And last but definitely not least, I've got here the Peruvian-style chicken thighs with cilantro rice and brown butter plantains. Get a little chicken bite going here. This is what you want. That's some good stuff, guys. Subscriptions start as low as $11 a meal, and the plan is super flexible. You can choose from 4 to 16 meals a week, and it's commitment free. You can skip or pause delivery, cancel at any time. You guys can get 50% off your first order of Cook Unity meals by going to cookunity.com/wavywebsurf and by using code WavyWebSurf50 at checkout. Big thanks to Cook Unity for sponsoring today's video. One of Omegle's first high-profile criminal degenerate users was a man named Richard Finkbeiner, a sick individual responsible for one of the most elaborate sextortion plots in United States history. In 2010, Richard Finkbeiner was a 39-year-old man living in Brazil, Indiana.
Finkbeiner. Damn it, Finkbeiner!
Began sexually interacting with minors in
oh good, oh good, yay.
Omegle, along with other platforms,
joy.
recording his victims throughout these calls. According to the FBI, Finkbeiner
so right now I look like this, right?
Stream videos of pornography to those that he matched with.
So right now,
in an attempt to coerce incoming minors to reciprocate acts in a sexual way. The minors
you're
who thought
annoying.
they
Pause.
were interacting with the
Pause. So what am I doing? I am oh, you know, I think I would prefer yeah, you know, that's okay. All I need to do is chop wood and get back. I need to go to the closest tree, fucking chop it, and then go inside. Good. We're gonna put furnaces here. Oh, well, no, I don't know. Yeah, like, furnaces are good here. Like, 4 of them, yeah. 4 furnaces here. I think I want, yep. Yep, and I think I want a floor safe. I want it stone. Fun to do all this stuff. I like doing this stuff. Always have. I like Rust. It's good game. Good game. Okay, so back to it.
And shown in the porn video would then be asked by Finkbeiner in text chat.
So kind of personalization. We come to personalization, and we will go to clean the ship. It's right now it's like fairly dirty. See it? So we're gonna clean the ship, and that leaves us looking like this, which is cool. Now we're gonna repair it. Repair all, yes, and good. And now you will see the nanites repair the hull. Yep, very good. And we have a good ship. Cool. And yeah, we have versus red force, all that stuff. So now we do the jumps to Jita, and this is the first time I've ever hauled ore, 100 million ISK worth of ore out of Pokefan, but I did it successfully, and I could do it 3 more times if I want. And I'm starting to see a nice money gameplay loop. Yeah, I'm about to have 100 million, so I can just keep gambling if I want. I don't want the Koroks. I do want the Gila, however. 3, 4, 5, 6. I should just do the Mecha Warp Trap thing every single time. I didn't know. That's it. That's the whole page, huh?
Warp drive active.
Doing well, coming in with my money. So now I need some way to get things. I suppose a knife might be, or well, I suppose a jackhammer might be good. Go out with a jackhammer when it's dark, and I'll bring a torch with me. Yeah, and I'll just go out and I'll try and jackhammer nodes. Where's the best place to do that? It's going to be the snow. So we're right here. I'll cross through outposts and I'll go out in the dark and I'll chop the snow. Or well, I don't know. I'll try. Oh, I don't know. Can I get out of here? No, I can't. What do I do to get out of here? I guess I actually... Oh, close. I guess I actually seal that up. Which kind of sucks, but I mean, it is true. So yeah, like this sucks, but I mean, yeah, like, or I mean, like, yeah, the furnaces will make it so I can get up, but until then, I will need a floor. Can I do a floor? No, I can't do a floor? I can't do a floor. Why can't I do a floor? All right, well, how about a crappy stair? Can I do a, yeah, like a crappy stair? There we go. I'll break it when I have the furnaces. Yep, we'll go out. I don't know, where's the best... Oh, no, we'll go to there. We'll go to blue, which is there. We're going to blue, northwest, 320. Oh, somebody's here. Never mind. Never mind.
Warp drive active.
How's the vendor today? It's Ice Shop. So, did you jump? Yes, you did. You know, I have a control tower, and I don't really see what stops you from... Let's go look at a control tower guide for EVE Online, because I have a control tower. In the orbit of moons. Okay, star bases are not to be confused with stations, citadel. Stations, citadels, or other large deployments which allow ships to dock. Oh, yeah? Someone's outside.
Warp drive active.
I'm going out. I'm not fucking with him. He'll just jack me.
Warp drive active.
What did I just see?
Docking permission requested. Docking request.
Hey, I got my first load out of Pokefen. That's a good, you know, accolade for me. All these rays set out the minute the night started. Where is this guy? He's like right there. Let's see if I can kill him. Fuck, it's daytime now. I'm gonna die. He was naked while he was doing it. Bye. Fuck was that? Oh no. I got something, but it wasn't much. I'm jealous of this guy. He's so safe. I'm jealous of him. Oh no, who's that? Go, 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 go. Whoa. Scary. Get in, get in. Oh, scary. But I got in. Fuck you guys. I want to go see that. I'm dropping all this shit. I'm gonna go see that. Go out with like that. I don't want to go out with the knife because I need to train it, but like, what am I at? Yeah, I don't really have anything much, but that's okay. This could be enough. I want to see if I can gank somebody on the road. Some gun kid on the road. Oh, this is perfect. I'll put windows here. Yep, windows right here, looking at the road. And windows right here. Yep, like I'll put windows right here, and that'll be enough. I'll put windows right here. Or well, I'll do it from the top. Or no, I'll do it right here. I'll do it right here. I wish I had tree cover, a little bit more tree cover, like stuff blocking me a little bit. It would be fun to extend out as far as I can to the road. And put a window out there by the road. That's what I'll do. I'm gonna chop this tree, fuck it. Gotta make it so I can get in. Fuck. Really? Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. Fuck, really? I don't know. Maybe I better try the other way. Gonna kill the sound entirely because it's kind of intrusive, and I'll run this video. Or well, actually, I have to pee. I'm sorry. I've been drinking wine. I'll be right back. I'm gonna pee. Much better. Okay, let's just pour some more wine. Oh. Nasty shirt. No, I'll be right back. Okay, nice. We got this Bez. We got this Bez that's going up on market at a high price. We'll see how much. But first, we got to empty the fleet hangar. Then back in the fleet hangar goes two more. Oops. Venture Brothers Ventures. So Venture Brother. What happened here? Oh, oops. Yep. So yeah, I want you to. Burr. Yeah, that's fine. And inventory, right? So actually, I want a miasmos to fit. The miasmos has to be fit. Yeah, it has to be fit. So we'll do a venture and a miasmos because that pretty much does like really kind of reduce my risk a little bit. And I don't want to haul in this ship. I just want to haul out with this ship. And maybe the miasmos makes it, so maybe it doesn't. So how many miasmos can we fit in this fleet hangar? I kind of doubt it. It's like probably one. But... Okay, there's a miasmos in this fleet hangar now? No, you didn't do it. Why didn't you do this? Put a miasmos in that fleet hangar. Oh, it takes 265, huh? So no hauler and a hauler. I guess this is my hauler, and I got to be very careful with it, as I was. I was careful with it. I guess I need nanite repair paste for this ship. Right. Nanite repair paste. Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I can always bring it back to Jita, so no, I don't care. I really don't care. So we're like pretty much ready, except for making this. Oh no, I'm gonna stuff ventures in this hauler, and I'm gonna sell the ore. So we're gonna do 1, 2. No. I want you to go back to inventory. I want you to say, oh no, yeah, I guess you can't, huh? Okay, well. What? No, close, and I want you to, oh, yep, close. Oh, you can put that to it? I didn't know you could do that. Well, anyways, so we want to come to the inventory, and we want to drag a venture to this fleet hangar. Drag a venture, brothers, to this fleet hangar. Good. Then we want to teleport out, but first we're going to sell... oh, yeah, my Master at Arms. None of them sold, huh? You guys just don't even want them at those prices? It's weird that none of that stuff sells, huh? Well, alright. Here's some money. Nope. It's 727, 748. Oh, yep, 748 immediate. Yeah, at 83, huh? Yep, I'll sell while they're up. Yep, I am selling, and we'll take 700. We'll take 700 million. 219, huh? No, I got it. I think it's coming in. Yep, and there we go. And we have some money. Then also we have this Bez. Now, right now, Bez will sell here for 16,440. But the actual market details are 24,000. So 24,900 is, nope, not immediate, but 3 months, is 90 million ISK. So we can see that I can pull 90 million in 3 months, or in immediate it would be 60. In 3 months it would be 90. So let's just, since I have reprocessing, we'll just reprocess this now. Isogen output will be 73 million reprocess. Okay, and then now it says that I have 53 million in Isogen. We're going to sell this. Isogen, if we take a look at the market, view market details. Sorry, these headphones are hurting my ears now. 477 per. 477 per. You're selling at 435 immediate. So, yeah, 107 of the Bez, Isogen and Bez. No, wait, no, cancel. I want inventory, Isogen, just Isogen. Yeah. 47 million in Isogen. And there's even more money coming in. Want to put this thing back up. Yep. at night before I go to bed, I will detonate and come back here. And I will put in my clones so I can like train really well. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think so. I guess we could take a mobile repair unit. No, it's not really worth it. We could put mobile tractor unit. Oh yeah, I wanted to bring mobile tractor units out here. I totally spaced it. Mobile tractor units. Mobile tractor units. Bring me like 5 of them. They're kind of expensive, but that's fine. I have money. Buy 5 of them. Yeah. What? Buy 5 of them, I guess? No, buy 5 of them, I guess. Coast might be outdated. What the hell is going on? I can't buy a mobile tractor unit. What are you doing? 4,297,000. Mobile tractor units will go in my Akator. And 3,900. It won't, like, it sucks, but yeah. Okay, so I believe we leave now.
Warp drive active.
Oh man, that thing looks so cool. Where is my Caldari control tower? Just out of curiosity. Caldari control tower is in Yater. That's 15 jumps away. Oh yeah, I guess we should go get that, huh? Yeah, let's go get that. Oh yeah, the prefer shorter, prefer safer is still 15. Prefer less secure, prefer safer. Alright, well, that's okay. We can do that. We can. But I'm not really ready to do it right now. Okay, do we go do that? I think we go do that, but I don't think, much is Astra Haas? So I guess I could always go into a wormhole and just build a structure there and live there, and then, like, people come through, but I mean, like, likelihood of them banging the structure is kind of low. Anyways, let's go about what I was doing. Okay, nobody's heard from me for a while. I'm gonna go out and farm some trees. Wait, I can hear somebody building. Who was that and who was building? Damn it. Alright, well... Is it you? Are you in there? You are so annoying. You hid the fucking X from me. It's so annoying. Why are you making me do this? So annoying. Thank you. I have more health than you. Ha, 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 ha. Thank you. Thank you for the free wood. He's like, oh, I know where you live now. Yes, you do, bitch. Yes, you do. Good wood. Now I want to go jack him some more. So I'm going to go back out there. Now we've got a symbiotic relationship where I rob him a lot. And so that's what I'm going to do. Come out of your base with something better than that. Come out. I should technically make those solid, but I'm scared to. I don't know what I want yet. Yep, I think I'm going to make an observation post and an exit right there. Oh, what was this? Oh. What was that? I don't want shit with you. We'll start none, won't be none. Now I'm going to let this guy waste his time, turn the sound off, and go worry about what I'm doing because it's scary. So, where am I? I'm Cryrold. I need to get to... Not Vader, but... Yeah. Now I need to know where my Gila is. Set destination. 2 jumps. Okay, jump.
Warp drive active.
I love muting my sound. They think they have sound warfare. They don't. In their own minds, they have that, but not in reality, they don't. Let's listen to a video.
Sadly follow his instructions. When a miner fell for his trap, Finkbinder would then record their camera footage and add it to his personal CP collection.
Ugh.
And if that wasn't depraved enough for you, this guy would often later anonymously contact his victims, revealing to them the fact that he had recorded them participating in those sexual behaviors, almost in a braggadocious manner, like, I gotcha. While performing digital surveillance on his victims, Richard would collect their sensitive personal details, later using that information for blackmail, threatening to release the videos to porn websites or to send them to the victims' friends, family, and school teachers, unless these victims continued making sexually explicit content with him, recruiting the minors as digital sex slaves of sorts, forced to participate in acts with him while he recorded them for his catalog. According to FBI reports, these acts included coercing them into exposing themselves, forcing them to wear embarrassing outfits, and even forcing them to scribble Finkbinder's online alias on their body with a permanent marker. Through these elaborate and sickening strategies, Richard was able to collect a multitude of victims, both male and females, whose ages ranged from 12 years old to 17, and were living in 9 different states, including Indiana, West Virginia, Iowa, Wisconsin, Ohio, New York, Michigan, Illinois, and Colorado. There was even one case involving a 12-year-old boy with transcripts showcasing the poor kid pleading
I
with
didn't make it
Richard
yet,
in
but I will.
messages to not release his blackmail video to the internet, and the sick man essentially telling the boy tough luck and uploading the stuff anyways. Dude was a sadist and psychopath, a pedophilic monster. Another incident showing how heartless this guy was involved a teenage girl who was so traumatized after falling victim to Finkbinder's trap, she attempted suicide. Thankfully, she would survive. Now, she later sent an email to Finkbinder stating what she had done, and Finkbinder would then reply with, "Glad I could help." Finkbinder was able to get away with performing these highly exploitative acts for around 2 years. But sexual extortion reports from some of his later victims, a 14-year-old boy in Maryland and another in Michigan, would catch the attention of the feds.
Asshole.
Authorities began an investigation, setting up a collaboration between the FBI and sheriff departments from all over the country where the reported crimes were taking place. This included the Oakland County, Michigan Sheriff's Department and the Prince George County's Maryland Department, with significant assistance from the Indiana State Police, the Clay County Sheriff's Department, the Terre Haute Police Department, and the Kokomo Police Department. It was truly a national endeavor. After a thorough investigation, authorities were able to trace these sickening crimes back to Richard, and he was pinned as the culprit.
Docking permission
The monster
requested.
of Omegle would finally be arrested on April 6th of 2012, with the feds seizing a staggering 22,000 video files from webcam feeds recorded by Finkbinder, half of which depicted sexual content from his sextortion ventures. The FBI also recovered close to 47,000 downloaded images, many of which depicted CP. The police would then begin the work in unwrapping his elaborate sextortion scheme, which would give Finkbinder additional
Sextortion.
charges. In total, Finkbinder was charged with 10 counts of sexual exploitation of children, 2 counts of extortion, and 1 count of possession of CP. The CP charge came from Richard both possessing images from the minors that he had extorted, as well as an entirely different collection of files. These are some serious charges, but they don't truly reflect the massive victim pool that Finkbinder had accumulated. Through reviewing the man's email communications, authorities were able to ascertain that there were at least 153 victims, and only 20 of them have been identified by name and confirmed by the authorities. Law enforcement would say, quote, "These charges formalize allegations of a systemic scheme to victimize hundreds of children and teenagers all over the country. Thanks to the tireless work of investigators over the last 3 months, we have been able to identify and contact many victims of these alleged acts. This process is ongoing, and we continue to do all we can to offer support after the nightmare they are alleged to have endured." Richard faced a maximum of 30 years in prison for each count of sexual exploitation of children, 2 years for the extortion charges, and a $250,000 fine for each of the charged offenses. In January of 2013, Richard would plead guilty to the charges of sexual exploitation and CP, and the deviant would be sentenced to serve 40 years in prison and was hit with a $70,000 fine, all coming on June 26th of 2013. It was also determined that after he was done serving his prison sentence, Richard would be forced to serve a lifetime of supervised release. At the time of his case being concluded, it was one of the largest sextortion cases in the country. This was the first major case where a criminal used Omegle to facilitate his crime, and it most certainly wouldn't be the last time the site would see foul play. Now we jump forward about 3 years to 2013 to our next case. It's the story of military serviceman Colin Lowry, a man not guilty for sex crimes against children, but for killing someone live on camera, broadcasting the act to an unsuspecting user live on Omegle, that user being still unknown to this day. On October 22nd of 2013, a 22-year-old Nevada Army reservist named Colin Lowry, along with 23-year-old Cherish Pincombe, were hanging out together with one of Colin's roommates named Patrick within Colin's home in Henderson, Nevada. During this chill session, they decided it would be fun to hop on Omegle and talk to some strangers, as one would do back in 2013. But sadly, this would be no routine night on Omegle, as a freak tragedy would begin to unfold the moment that their webcam booted up. According to reports, the story goes as follows. After chatting to a few different people, Colin and Cherish were matched up with a woman from Norway who, curious about American culture, had asked if the group owned any guns. Colin, a military serviceman, most certainly did, and would promptly step out of view of the camera, returning after a short while with his rifle and a .45 caliber handgun. He then would begin eagerly showcasing the firearms to the anonymous Omegle user. Now, at some point, Colin is said to leave the area of the Omegle camera setup to go use the bathroom, leaving his guns at the computer, only to return again shortly after. By this point, the Norwegian had left, and another Omegle user is said to have been paired up with them. Now, what happens next is somewhat disputed, as the footage is not available for the public to view. But it's alleged that while resuming showing off his handgun, Colin would raise the pistol to Cherish's head in what could be described as a joking fashion and would pull the trigger, possibly believing that it wasn't loaded. The gun would discharge, shooting Cherish in the head, causing the woman to go limp. She was critically injured, and the shooting was broadcasted live to an anonymous viewer. While I'm unable to ascertain at what time of night or early morning the shooting occurred, at around 8:30 a.m., Colin Lowry would call 911 and report that a gun had been accidentally discharged within his home. Cherish Pincombe would be taken to the Sunrise Hospital, where she would later sadly die from the injuries that she had sustained in the shooting. When questioned by the police, Colin would admit that he had been drinking alcohol, but stated that he had no idea that the handgun was loaded, trying to plead the case of this whole thing being nothing more than a freak accident. Considering the apparent negligence at play, police felt this to be more than just a mistake and arrested Colin for the killing. He would insist that it wasn't his fault, even reportedly claiming that Cherish had loaded the weapon while he was in the bathroom. An interesting twist if true. However, investigators pushed back, stating that Colin had likely taken the weapon to the bathroom with him, inserting the magazine and loading it in there. Yeah, if you haven't picked up on it, the cops believe that Colin had straight up murdered this woman in cold blood like it was premeditated. In fact, they went as far as insinuating this whole situation was much more than accidental manslaughter. It was some sort of methodical thrill kill, with Colin booting up Omegle with the intention of slaying his friend live on camera.
Oh
That's what they thought.
God.
Now, it's to note that there were no other witnesses within the room when the shooting occurred. Colin's roommate was apparently no longer around when this transpired. The cops had to get their hands on the Omegle footage, as it likely held the truth of what actually took place that evening. Police subpoenaed the Portland, Oregon-based website Omegle for footage of the shooting to possibly attain some sort of evidence to confirm their suspicions. They would receive some snapshots from Omegle, but it was only the chat portion of the website. These conversations, including some messages from Lowry, Pincombe, and the person that they were matched with. Sadly, though, it appears footage had not been archived by Omegle. But what about the other person on the other end of the video chat? Couldn't they speak to what had happened? Sadly, due to the anonymous nature of Omegle, this person has never been identified, and investigators were unable to ascertain any IP or metadata that could lead them in the right direction in regard to finding the enigmatic witness of the Omegle shooting. If someone was watching their screen at the time, it's very likely that they are keeping that gruesome moment with them to the grave, as no one has ever come forward. The snapshots recovered by the cops would unfortunately reveal very little, and it was a dead end barking up that tree. Colin's case would have to move forward without any video evidence and approached with a more traditional forensic style. After his arrest, Colin's bail would be set at $200,000, and investigators checked the magazine for Cherish's fingerprints to see if Colin's story had checked out. They would find that the physical evidence didn't show any of Cherish's fingerprints on the magazine. Something else interesting to think about here, Colin Lowry was a trained staff sergeant in the military reserve. He had many years of weapons training, apparently weapons training that he decided to just randomly forego on that day and act like a fool. I'm not trying to say that I know for a fact that Colin had a actual, inclination of murdering Cherish, but it is unusual for someone in the military to handle a gun this irresponsibly. There was reason for police to be suspicious. Later, Colin Lowry's roommates testified that Cherish and Colin, along with everyone else in the house, had a playful relationship with one another. Duffy, one of the other roommates, would even tell the court that he had not once ever seen Lowry get angry at Cherish. Colin Lowry's attorney would use this to argue that his client should be tried for manslaughter and not straight up murder. Quote, "I heard no evidence whatsoever of premeditation, and I heard no evidence whatsoever of malice," the lawyer said. The judge would disagree and ordered that Colin should be tried on an open murder charge. In August of 2014, Colin would cut a deal with prosecutors and pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter with a weapon. And on October 24th of 2014, Colin Lowry would be sentenced to 8 to 20 years in prison. During sentencing, Colin would apologize to Cherish's family within the courtroom, saying he had never meant to hurt anybody. It seems his words fell on deaf ears though, as family members of the slain victim were quoted as calling Colin a cold-blooded killer. It's somewhat unsettling to think that there is someone out there who may have watched this shooting take place live on Omegle and just has gone about their life with that horrific scene burned into their brain. Whoever you are, I hope you're doing well, and perhaps one day, come forward. Let's talk. Sadly, not long after the shooting incident, another child sexual exploitation case would come forward, involving a man named Dennis Witt, who would challenge underage girls on Omegle to a sick game in an effort to fulfill his twisted fantasies. Beginning in late 2013 and early 2014, 40-year-old Dennis Witt of Marina, California, would begin participating in behavior that went beyond degeneracy, with the man frequenting websites like Omegle, pretending to be a 16-year-old boy named Lucas. Using this fake persona, he would interact with underage girls, never showing his face. During these chats, the 40-year-old fraud would quickly get sexual. Acting as Lucas, he devised the game, in which young girls would gain points for participating in lewd behavior. For example, girls could receive a point for taking off a piece of their clothing, or would receive more points by performing outright sex acts. A criminal complaint describes his activity. three girls began to play a game whereby they would do things on camera to earn points. Tasks began with things like waving and blowing kisses, but progressed to showing Lucas their genitalia, unquote. Dennis groomed these girls on Omegle and also on his Skype account that went by the username VampireGod, and his profile picture was a skull and crossbones. The guy is like a modern-day Camden Gerard Davis, but white and 40 years old. Now, what's truly sickening about Dennis in particular in the context of this video is the ages of the people that he victimized. The age range of his victims went from 16 all the way down to 7 years old. Just some really unspeakable crimes here. I say this with all seriousness. There are actual monsters.
Dude,
that walk
chainsaw.
the earth, and I don't know how you could have any sympathy for someone like this. But it's just disgusting.
2 laptops.
The conversations with these 4 particular underage victims, who were all from Jefferson County, New York, began in May of 2013, according to the criminal complaint. It stated that during these interactions, Dennis recorded the girls 48 times between July 25th of 2013 and September 16th of 2013. The oldest one, at 16 years old, would communicate with Whit daily, with the others being communicated with far less frequently. While Dennis performed these abhorrent acts with the children, it would not be long before the authorities got tipped off, as one of the fathers of the 4 underage victims.
I don't know. I think I want to go back if I
York,
can. Can I go back to the one I just rode?
Alert the proper authorities and channels. The FBI, when alerted to this, would team up with the Silicon Valley Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, a group that specializes in targeting people who produce and distribute CP online. Together, they were able to find Dennis's Gmail,
right there.
AOL account, and Skype account, and were able to backtrace these accounts, finding his IP address, which gave them his real-life location. The FBI then executed a search warrant, and on April 30th of 2014, authorities would storm into Dennis Witt's house in Marina, California, where they would confirm that Dennis was in fact Lucas, and they arrested the man and escorted him outside in handcuffs. In a darkly hilarious moment, the pathetic Dennis would be photographed in handcuffs wearing a "Wanted Dead or Alive" t-shirt. Looks like the fat degenerate slob really dressed up for the occasion. What else would you expect from some fucking loser that goes by VampireGod on the internet and abuses children? While in Dennis's house, authorities would search through his computers and find 48 video files and 20 image files consisting of CP. Some of these videos were over an hour long. There was also content containing other children found on the internet as well. In total, a catalog of over 10,000 videos and image files were looked through. After his arrest, Dennis would admit to the officers that he had captured the videos of the underage girls and saved them to a folder titled My Girls. Now, this guy is a true piece of work, ain't he?
Lovely.
Dennis Witt would later be extradited to New York to face trial. He would plead guilty in November of 2014, and on April 8th, 2015, Dennis would be sentenced to 60 years in federal prison on 7 counts of sexually exploiting children. When released from prison, Dennis must be put on supervised release for life and will be required to register as a sex offender. From what I can find, there was an attempt to appeal the sentencing, but it was denied. Thank God. Let's take a breather. Now we enter an era of relative peace. Let's do a bit of an Omegle history lesson. Now, thankfully for the next several years, Omegle would be free from major criminal events. Yeah, old men still went on there to broadcast themselves jerking off, but for the most part, things were quiet on the site. People were using it as it was intended, to have fun and talk to strangers and make, unique friendships with people from across the world, as was the intention of the site's creator, Leif K. Brooks. Leif had single-handedly developed Omegle while living at his parents' house when he was just 18 years old. He wanted to connect people from around the world in video form at random, a novel concept for the time. The 18-year-old just wanted people to have fun and communicate anonymously online. Talk to strangers, as was the slogan of the website. Launched in 2009, his creation was an instant hit, and Omegle would become established as a permanent part of internet culture in short time. a mainstay of web-based chatting visited by millions of people from around the world since. After all, Omegle's premise and what it was intended for was actually quite remarkable for the time. I mean, real-time video chatting on a web browser back in 2009 was kind of a big deal. Like, I personally remember hopping on Omegle with some buddies and ending up matching with some other teenagers our age somewhere else in the US and becoming friends with these guys. You know, you might exchange Xbox gamer tags and play Call of Duty together, even keeping in touch with them for years at a time. When used correctly, Omegle could be a great way to make connections and friendships from the comfort of your own home. Sadly, though, Leaf's vision for a connected internet would become tainted by those with abusive tendencies. Predators began taking advantage of the accessibility of his platform and used it as a tool to victimize the many children that regularly visited it. This was a fact that hurt Leaf on a personal level, as he himself is a self-admitted survivor of childhood rape. Though despite the misuse of his creation, the vast majority of people were using Omegle to make friends and simply to chat. Leaf saw no reason to shut down the site completely and spoiled the fun for everyone because of the actions of a few. This would be a stance that would prove increasingly difficult to maintain as more time passed and more predators emerged.
More predators?
Now, moving a bit forward on our timeline, we look at an Omegle abuse case from 2019. A particularly egregious one in that the perpetrator of this crime was in fact an officer of the law, a seemingly trustworthy member of society. 30-year-old Simeon Smith from Chesterfield, Virginia worked as a police officer within the city, beginning his occupation with the department in May of 2017. On the surface, Simeon was unlike any upstart officer. A seemingly clean-cut man, eager and filled with an almost naive enthusiasm for upholding the law and protecting the community. But his disposition was nothing more than a facade, as beneath the surface this guy was nothing more than a sick freak with a badge. On March 18, 2019, just before noon, 30-year-old Simeon Smith was apparently feeling aroused and would take to Omegle, looking for both women and young girls to talk to. It seems age mattered little. Officer Simeon Smith would eventually be matched up with an account claiming to be a 14-year-old teenage girl named Crystal. At the beginning of their lengthy and scandalous conversation, Simeon asked for the girl's age, to which she said she was 14. He then allegedly responded with, 30 male Richmond. Is that okay? The conversation led by Simeon then escalated to a sexual nature, with Simeon asking the minor, quote, tell me how old you were the first time you did anything sexual, unquote. Simeon pushed the sexual agenda in this conversation, with Crystal reportedly not reciprocating. The chat log ends with Simeon saying, quote, oh, and you asked where we would do it? Ideally on your bed. But if that's too risky, I'll rent a room at a hotel, quote. Yeah, that's a policeman stating explicitly where and how he would like to have sex with someone who he thinks is a 14-year-old girl. Now, thankfully, what you must know is that there wasn't actually a real 14-year-old girl here. It was an undercover cop. Yes, the police, likely not realizing it at the time, had one of their own on the hook. In an effort to confidently identify who they were chatting with, the Crystal account would ask for the creep's social media, which led them to a Snapchat. Simeon would send Crystal a photo of himself, giving the undercover officers more evidence in regard to busting this at-large creep. During this investigation, the Hanover Police Department collaborated with members of the Southern Virginia Internet Crimes Against Children FBI Child Exploitation Task Force, which included officers from around the state of Virginia and the FBI and Homeland Security. This massive collection of law enforcement entities would hone in on Simeon, and they were able to link the IP address with Simeon's North Chesterfield home, a house that he actually lived in with his wife. The creep cop had been found and would be stung. Simeon would be arrested on March 22nd of 2019 and charged in Hanover County with 3 felony counts of use of a communication system to facilitate certain offenses involving children. Many items would be seized from his home, including Asus and Samsung laptops, 7 thumb drives, a CD, a yellow shirt, Sony and Nikon cameras, an external hard drive, and a ThinkPad laptop. Law enforcement likely eager to pry into these devices. He would be held without bond. The head of the Chesterfield Police Department would put out a statement while they were in the process of terminating Simeon's employment. Quote, "I am both disturbed and disgusted by the actions alleged, and I want to say clearly and unequivocally that there is no place for such conduct by anyone in our agency, in our profession, or frankly, in our community." In August of 2019, Simeon would plead guilty to 1 felony charge, while the other 2 were dropped, and on September 24th of 2019, Simeon was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but would have 8 years suspended along with 10 years of probation. Now we move forward to 2020 in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Around this time, Omegle saw a rise in popularity, as millions of lonesome people on lockdown sought to interact with others. With a vastly increased user base, this also meant more opportunity for crime to take place on Omegle. And that's what we find throughout 2020 and the early 2020s in general. Omegle just becomes rife with degeneracy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The major 2020 case in my eyes is the case of Crystal Scott. It's a bizarre situation involving a degenerate sadist responsible for hideous animal abuse and was only caught thanks to the concern of the online and furry community. In late April of 2020, when most were dealing with social distancing and lockdowns, folks from all walks of life flocked to Omegle, and one community that raised eyebrows in particular were the furries. Furries, thanks to their wacky animal costumes, were often pretty humorous to come across on the site, and many would enjoy interacting with them. The already isolated furries took to Omegle en masse during the pandemic, where they could discuss their love for the fandom, entertain others, and in some cases, just provide some wholesome cringe. But it wasn't all fun and games for the furries. In the midst of the COVID malaise, a furry browsing Omegle would come across a harrowing spectacle after being matched with an anonymous user. This camera feed showcased an anonymous woman that appeared to be wearing a mask made out of a freshly skinned animal hide, and they were holding a miniature bloody and fleshy looking animal skull. These animal parts seemed like they had been procured from a recently killed animal, according to the user. The frightened furry snapped some photos of the scene and shared it to the web, thinking that
the frightened furry
in the individual's costume may have been from a freshly slain household pet. More sightings of this mysterious figure would be reported in short time, with all who encountered the account feeling extremely disturbed. This story was initially contained within the furry community, as it was apparently a furry who had found the anonymous user first, and the report would cause quite a bit of concern for the furries. As they did their best to investigate the anonymous woman from Omegle further, they found troubling hashtags associated with the grisly user. Hashtag furries, hashtag furry fandom, and most importantly, hashtag fursuit. Creating a fursuit out of animals slain for the purpose of creating a costume is unsurprisingly frowned upon within the furry community, and as far as I'm aware of, it is most likely illegal in most places, at least in the sense of using like cats and dogs, which appeared to be what was going on here. Did Omegle have an animal slaying fursuit maker on its hands? It wouldn't be long before these collective incidents would go viral, and many on Reddit would post about it. The thread would go as far as to allege that the woman on Omegle killed, burned, and skinned cats, and they had some compelling evidence to back this up. In the Reddit thread, an Omegle user would share an image that they had snapped of the mysterious woman while browsing Omegle, and this gruesome image was that of her holding a skinned cat's head, with the musculature and eyeballs still attached. It's really disgusting, and viewer discretion is highly advised if you go about seeking this photo out for yourself. But yeah, the cat looked like it was recently killed, and with this it became more likely that people really were dealing with some sort of Omegle cat killer. The public's interest in this case rose, as now not was just the furry community looking into it, the broader internet was as well. A TikTok account allegedly created by the crazy cat-killing Omegle woman was discovered with a description describing herself as a French taxidermist. Other accounts allegedly operated by the user would post taunting messages to those trying to track the Omegle cat killer down, such as "Good luck to all and happy hunting." She even claimed to have actively infiltrated Discord groups that had been created to hunt her down. It seemed like this was nothing more than a game to this person. Animal abuse is no joke, however, and nobody found her sick antics entertaining. I mean, it's like she was trying to turn this into some kind of fucking ARG, but she's killing animals to facilitate that, allegedly. Why do this? One TikTok post allegedly written by the cat killer elaborates on their motive as to why. Quote, "Because I'm tired of degenerate brats and people who think that they are better than those. I was raped once by my boyfriend. I want to put fear in others, even if I scar brats." Okay, so let me get this straight. So apparently she got raped and went Joker mode, deciding to get a revenge on her abuser by striking fear into random strangers online with dead animals. You know therapy exists, right? Like you can literally just get counseling. Now this crazy cat killer lady seemed to be so confident in her anonymity and believing that she wouldn't get caught that she actually published her schedule to her TikTok as to when she would be going live on Omegle. So you can clearly kind of see here that this is like a give me attention kind of thing. Law enforcement really needed to step in like yesterday. The case had become quite the spectacle in the online world, and its notoriety would urge people to pressure law enforcement to get involved, with cyber sleuths sending calls and emails regarding the Omegle cat killer to police agencies across the
Got it.
US.
Oh yeah.
It turns out cops wouldn't be necessary in unmasking this psychopathic animal abuser. Finally, after weeks and weeks of non-stop clue hunting and putting the dots together, the most dedicated of amateur online investigators pieced together the puzzle. Picking up the crumbs of evidence left by the Omegle woman, they were finally able to identify her. It was 19-year-old Crystal Scott from Kokomo, Indiana. She was the woman behind the gruesome Omegle streams. Now law enforcement got involved and would uncover the extent of the Omegle cretin's degeneracy. On May 3rd of 2020, Kokomo police would search 19-year-old Crystal Scott's home in Indiana. There, they would seize multiple deceased animals and body parts, including 2 cats in her freezer and a glass jar filled with an unidentified animal. Crystal had claimed that these animals were dead when she found them. Sadly, though, local police were not able to charge Crystal during this first visit, and the raid was falsely reported on by local authorities who called Crystal a hoax artist. Apparently, the police needed more evidence that she was harming or killing the animals found dead on her property. And that evidence would come. A bit over a month later, on June 26th of 2020, another complaint of animal cruelty would be submitted to law enforcement regarding Crystal, where a man believed that a pregnant cat that he had given to Crystal had been tortured and possibly killed by her. With this, finally, the FBI stepped in, and in July of 2020, Crystal was arrested on charges of animal crushing. The Omegle cat abuser had finally been put in handcuffs. At the time of her arrest, Crystal Scott was facing up to 7 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. She accepted a plea deal on November 10th of 2021 and pled guilty to the 2 charges of animal crushing and was sentenced to serve 30 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release. And it's very likely that those creatures that were shown on camera were ones that she had killed. You have to give a nod to the furry community for blowing this story up in the initial stages and getting the ball rolling in regards to putting this monster in a cage where she belongs. Now we get to our final headline story in the chronology of criminal activity on Omegle. It's the last major case before the site's official shutdown. It involves an Omegle predator hunter of sorts busting an online creep by the name of Matthew Manoski. On June 4th of 2023, YouTuber Nico is Cold would upload the first of his catching creeps on Omegle videos. In this series, Nico would employ a young-looking adult woman that pretended to be underage in an effort to catch older men sexually flirting or interacting with them, under the assumption that the grown woman was a minor. He's trying to catch pedophiles basically using an adult posing as a minor. One of these creeps discovered by Nico and his team would be a man going by the name of Mike, who during the conversation would be told that the girl on camera was 16. Despite this, Mike would ask the young girl to take her sweatpants off, after which Nico would reveal himself, making the creep known that he had been caught in 4K. While indeed creepy, nothing overtly criminal had been caught in Nico's video, but it was the comment section under Nico's video that was far more interesting in terms of spelling out who Mike really was. Curiously though, the day that Nico uploaded this video, the YouTuber would receive a plethora of comments from random internet users, expressing how they too had had uncomfortable run-ins with this Mike fellow on Omegle, insinuating that he was a serial Omegle sex pest of sorts that targeted the underage. A comment says, "Guys, please read this. I have met one of the creeps on here. So a few weeks ago, I was 14. I'm 15 now. But the one who was named Mike at 5 minutes 16 was always on the tag bored. And I remember the first time I saw him was traumatizing. Back then, I tried to be nice like everyone, and well, that was a bad idea. He kept calling me cute and pretty repeatedly asked me if I thought he was attractive, to which my reply was that I thought he looked like a dad, and he just laughed. I wanted this guy to be exposed so much, so I asked him questions. He has a job and a wife and obviously his 16-year-old kid. I skipped him when he told me he had a fetish for like underwear and wanted to know what color mine were. Before I skipped him, however, I told him in the chat that he was a pedo and to get off Omegle, but I saw him again a week ago. It was traumatizing, so I skipped. I wanted him to get caught so badly, but thank you so much, Nico, for catching him. I really hoped this would happen. I'm still scared to get on Omegle nowadays, and mostly do it with friends, but the fact that over 300,000 people saw his face, I'm so happy. Thank you, I can sleep well tonight." Edit, I forgot to mention his age is 53. I made him tell me for the first appearance I had with him. Merely a few weeks later, Nico would meet Mike again in his second edition of Catching Creeps on Omegle. In this video, Mike would run away once more after Nico appeared on camera.
No.
Yeah, buddy, you're done again, pal. Yo, this fucking guy, bro.
Later, it would be revealed that Mike was actually caught flirting on another. In this, Nico would meet Mike again. First appearance I had with him. Merely a few weeks later, Nico would meet Mike again in his second edition of Catching Creeps on Omegle. In this video, Mike would run away once more after Nico appeared on camera.
No.
Yeah, buddy, you're done again, pal. Yo, this fucking guy, bro.
Later, it would be revealed that Mike was actually caught flirting on another YouTuber's Omegle creep busting channel called Ashley Guggs. He was seen in a video called Thirst Trapping Predators on Omegle, uploaded on June 8th of 2022. And this was published a whole year before Nico's first exposed video came out, so he had been recklessly flirting for a while, allegedly. In this Ashley video, Mike would say that his age was 52 years old and that he was a kinky, dirty, perverted old man. Ashley would then attempt to bait Mike and say that she was only 15, to which Mike replied, quote, "This is where the fun begins." But apparently he realized he was being set up and dipped out. Mike likely thought that his run-ins with the Omegle predator hunters would have little impact on his life. Sure, he got ridiculed by a few YouTubers, but at least he was staying out of a jail cell. At least these guys weren't cops, right? Well, the continuous pattern of this guy showing up in Omegle predator videos would catch up to him and have catastrophic repercussions on Mike's family and his work career, and his appearances in these videos would lead to him being suspected by actual law enforcement and put behind bars. As stated by Nico is Cold on August 17th of 2023, Mike's son would get into contact with Nico, apparently revealing to Nico that Mike's real name wasn't Mike at all, and that his real name was actually Matthew Manowski.
On August 17th, 2023,
Thank you.
Messaged me on Instagram. And as it turns out, Mike had been lying about his identity the whole time. His real name was Matthew.
The son would explain to Nico that his videos had been sent to his stepmom, or Matthew's wife, and that the couple was in the process of getting a divorce. The son apparently expressed to Nico, though, that he hoped the videos could be taken down due to the embarrassment that he and his family were receiving.
Mom at the time saw the video, and now they are in the middle of a divorce. My whole family knows, and it's just been not good recently. I know it's your job, but if you could do something about the video, removing it would be the best option for me and my family. People at my school know about it, and I don't want to go back to school and get made fun of for it.
While this is happening, family members of Matt are getting in touch with Nico as well, as the videos had gotten on their radar and they were looking into the situation.
The guy that you guys caught twice in your Omegle videos is quite literally my second cousin. My dad got sent this video today, and I've been digging into this more for him before we take action.
And then an alleged detective from a police department in Matt's local area would contact Nico, revealing that Matt was a part of a separate investigation, like he was already being looked into.
Identifying a subject in one of your Catching Creeps on Omegle videos, and that subject is a part of a separate investigation. I believe your video would be beneficial to my investigation.
Now get this. In Nico's video, he would reveal that Matt was telling his family members that he was a paid actor and that this was some sort of collaboration with Nico. Like, dude was trying to say he was in on Nico's videos. Naturally, when these family members reached out, Nico would tell them that this was a complete fucking lie. Becoming more desperate to save his reputation, later Matt would somehow find Nico's phone number and was able to get in touch with the YouTuber to plead his case. Nico recorded the call.
I know that my son has reached out to you, and I appreciate you taking the time to actually listen to what he has to say.
I just wanted to talk and just see what's like going on.
With multiple reports and video appearances, the FBI did actually get involved with Matt. It would be revealed that Matt was from Valparaiso, Indiana, and the underage predator allegations surrounding him were spreading like wildfire in the community. People around the city would give tips to the FBI, which led to Matthew's arrest on October 6th of 2023, due to the separate investigation mentioned previously. Turns out he was allegedly doing more than just flirting with minors on Omegle. Matt would be charged with 1 count of child molestation, where it was disclosed that the 53-year-old Matthew Minosky was being accused of molesting a young girl multiple times, starting when she was 9 years old up until she was 11 years old. These alleged crimes took place from December of 2020 to July of 2023. In Nico's video, he would reveal that the girl was allegedly molested up to 2 times a week within the girl's household while the family was there. One such incident allegedly happening while they were all sitting at a table and she was sitting in Matt's lap. Matthew received 1 felony charge of child molestation. It was also reported that Matthew was a football coach as well. Pretty unsettling. It's said that before the police were involved and Matthew was confronted about his allegations, he said, quote, "If I ever did anything she didn't like, she should have told me to stop." The YouTuber would also reveal that Omegle had ceased operations 1 month after Matthew's arrest. And Nico speculated that Matthew's arrest, along with the media attention around it, had a lot to do with the shutdown. The case of Matthew Minosky would be the final major criminal case to come out of Omegle, as the website would be officially shut down by Leaf in November of 2023, with Leaf himself stating in his own farewell address on the website that his decision was very much influenced by the abundance of child predators that had come to occupy his website over the years. It's truly sad what happened to Omegle, a place created by an enthusiastic 18-year-old programmer living in his mom's house who just wanted people to connect and have fun on the internet, only to slowly become corrupted over the years by the dregs of society, co-opted and defiled to a place that could only be browsed if using extreme caution. While Leaf states in his farewell address that his decision to shut down Omegle was motivated by his disgust of predators, there may have also been an additional factor. According to a report from ABC News, the shutdown was the result of a lawsuit. A suit filed back in 2021 against Leaf and Omegle from a sexual assault victim who claimed Omegle matched her with a sexual predator when she was just 11 years old, and this girl alleged that the match resulted in her being abused. According to ABC News, the attorney representing the victim claims the Omegle shutdown was the result of mediation between the platform and their client. Whatever the case, Omegle is gone. That being said, there are many other Omegle-like websites still around, like Chat Roulette, and random webcam-based chat sites are certainly not going anywhere. They're a staple of the internet. However, if today's timeline has taught you anything, use these platforms with caution, and if you have kids that are using them, some extremely careful supervision certainly wouldn't hurt. And well, you made it to the end of the timeline. That was the disgusting fall of Omegle. Let me know what you guys thought about the video down below in the comments section, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out. Peace. In November of
Stop. This is me. This is me. This is the sound of you about to die. Told you. Here for the double barrel. I'll make a door. And lock. Metal and wood. Extra sawed off. I fucking schooled that bitch. Did you see it? Sorry. This is me about to fucking kill you. Oh shit, yeah, that's not too good. But I can probably fix it from the inside, which is good. Yeah, I gotta fix that. Yeah. Probably not that much, but yeah, like... Yep, go fix that real quick. Got fucking pwned. Got pwned, bitch. Right in your face. And now I'm going to turn off the sound and ignore for a long time. For a long time. Okay, I'm gonna go pee and be AFK for a minute here. Sorry, guys. I had a good day. Got a lot done here. Hells yeah. We're gonna slowly upgrade. Slowly upgrade. Slowly upgrade. What's this? Oh yeah, that time I beat that fucking idiot. Oh, yeah? Okay. Can't do anything. Yep, can't do anything, but I can kill this idiot. You know what's better than this? Shit, maybe I do want the pistol and the bullets, huh? Let's go see. Shit, I mean, I have enough cloth. I can absolutely wear a set. Like this set's cheap. I will wear it actually. Yeah, fuck this shit. This sounds like a good fight outside, actually. Yeah, let's go fight it, huh? Yeah, fuck these guys. I'm gonna get some bandages, because it sounds like they can probably do for each other, you know? They can probably do with each other. Yep. You want to act like a shitbird? Get treated like a shitbird, cocksucker. Hey, I won't mess with you. Leave me alone and I won't mess with you. Leave me alone. Keep raiding. You're fine. Deal? I killed them. They're bad. They're bad. You go ahead. You go ahead. You're fine. Fucking bads. Thank you. Take all these kids. All these fucking kids. Fucking idiot. Thank you. Gotta get cover, 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 cover. Oh. God damn, god damn. Fucking bads. How many people did I just killed there? I got a 4K or something like that. I caught a 4K, bitch. 4K and Rust. Because they all want me. You can tell they immediately want me. You know? I don't blame them. That's a oh, there's shit. Oh, there's shit. Oh, there's shit. Time to mute them now. Time to turn off the sound for a few minutes, you know? Fuck these guys. Okay, on to the next thing. Yeah, did you load? Yep, load. Musk Trump interview was a big yikes. Shock poll from Wisconsin. Truly disgusting influencers you've never heard of 2 weeks ago. More obscure video games I recommend. Pretty disgusting downfall of the WWE's owner. The Apostles keeping Templios alive. The most